How's it going? Welcome to CD Documentaries, CD Blunt Documentaries. Hope I'm saying it right. How's it going, y'all? I wanted to say more about my story, explain to people how this works. Like I said, a smear campaign is deep, and I want to say it's sad, And I know I said I was going to talk about different kind of narcissistic people next time, but this time I wanted to tell you my story a little bit more. Like I said, I worked in the kitchen before, and I had a bunch of people just isolate me from a group. Like I said, I can't mention names because I don't want to lose my thing, my privileges here. So y'all know how this goes. But like I said, I had people isolate me because I stood up to a bully. Like I said, bullies, about a group of people, and I didn't know. I was mad at them because they were treating me a certain way, and they know what they were treating me like. It's like garbage, and they would isolate me from a group. They would not talk to me, and then they turned to people that were in the kitchen on me, and they turned them on me fastly because they said some spread some words about me. So that it was so deep outside the job that even the people inside the kitchen turned on me fast. Like I said, I tried to stand my ground, like I said, but it didn't work. I called people out on it, you know what I'm saying, and it made the bully more mad. Like I said, when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, I want people to understand that you don't know what they'll do and you don't know who they know. So you got to be careful on that, because a narcissistic person will do some dirty stuff. And like I said, they basically used me and did what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to lose my control, and just be mad and act wild and act crazy as possible. They wanted me to do and to get a reaction out of me, and they know they were doing it on purpose. If they can't do anything, they want to get a reaction out of me, and I gave it to them. Like I said, I was frustrated. I said some words. Like I said, I was mad because they were treating me a certain way. But unfortunately, like I said, if the way they do it is so smart, like I said, they treat you good. They tell people good things about you. Yeah, he's a great worker, blah, blah, blah. They blow smoke screen, and they tell good things. But when they're around a crew and they're outside of the job, they tear your name down and say you're the worst person in the world. And the reason why they want to keep it good, your name to look good, where people don't, that's why HR couldn't figure out what the heck was going on in my job when I was trying to explain it to them. Because he said, no one says nothing bad about you. Of course they never say anything bad about me, because they don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want it. They don't want the attention. Their goal is to make me look bad and them look good. So what they were doing is they were ganging up together, but not saying anything and treating me like crap, trying to expect me to do something, expect me to react, expect me to say something. And I was getting mad. I had people come in, had a guy fixing something in the kitchen, and he just made sure he just gave me the stare of death like that. And not stare of death, but the left look, like I told you on my last video. And I saw him do it right in front of my face. And the other guy that was there, I don't want to mention his name, because like I said, if I do mention names, I'd probably get messed up for that. But it was another big guy, kind of fat, but he was there, and he saw what was going on. He didn't say anything, of course. Like I said, he don't care, They're bullying, but he didn't care no more, because I had said some words to him too. Like I said, I said some words to him, and it wasn't intentional. It's just his girlfriend was really rough on me. Like really bad to me at the very end of when I was at the end of my rope. And I just said some words to him. I told him, look, man, we got some problems. I said, your girl's treating me like garbage. And I said, look, dude, I'm gonna have to say some words to her, or what's up, man, because she's treating me like crap. And I said, then you're gonna demand me, and then we might be scrapping. And I didn't, like I said, I was trying to defend myself. Like I said some words. So like I said, I was trying to defend myself because I was already taking the hits from the bullying that was going on at the job from certain people from the kitchen, not from the kitchen, but outside the kitchen, because they dogged me because I wasn't too good at the job. And like I said, the job kind of sucked anyway. I'm going to be really honest. I thought it'd be a little bit better, but the job sucked. And they didn't really take care of the kitchen well. If I had to say so myself, it wasn't like a group thing. It was weird. It was like a weird system, the weirdest system I've ever seen in my life, and I should have just quit right away. But I was trying to hang in there. I needed the money. So like I said, and I was trying to defend myself when I saw this stuff going down. But like I said, I didn't know that once I called them out on their BS, because I called them out, and I did. And now, like I said, I was heated. Like I said, I was wilding out. But I was wilding out for a reason. And that was because they were treating me like garbage. And I didn't know that day I exploited my name outside of the job until I got my hair cut one day, and I realized I started seeing people, and I started seeing people turn their heads when I was driving through, and I said, oh, okay, that's weird. And I didn't think twice about it. I was like, whatever, those are people. But what I didn't know is They had tarnished my name and exploited my name, but I didn't know. Like I said, I had no way of knowing. You don't know this stuff until you see it, and then you go, oh crap, but it's too late by then, like I said. And as Dre was saying on the video, he was on psychological warfare. He was saying, just leave. And I was like, you can't leave once that's going on anyway. They've already exploited you. And once they exploit your name, they're going to keep going. And even if I would have stayed at that job, they would have kept tearing my name apart. Anything to get me to quit. Anything. And by the time I did get there, they did get me to quit. Unfortunately, it did work, and I did quit. And it's not what I had in mind. I didn't want to quit, but I had no choice. They had tore me down. You know what I mean? They really tore me down. I didn't know they tore me down that badly, but they did. And I wish I wouldn't have quit. I wish I'd hung in there longer and been a little more braver with it. But I just got tired of it. A negative environment. Usually you dip out. And I should have quit when I first started. I just didn't know. But narcissistic people are everywhere, so I can't tell anybody. If you leave town, you won't run into that, or if you leave wherever you stay at, there's a good chance you might run into that again, because there's people, and the narcissistic people around everywhere. And if you think they're not, you can travel as much higher as you want, but people are people, and people do dirty things. Like I said, it grows up from the kids, and it comes all the way up, like I was telling on psychological warfare on Shantae's video, and it's all the same. And I want people to understand that. And like I said, it's a sad epidemic, and I'm really sad by how this works, like I said. But I wanted to let y'all know, my story of what I saw. And like I said, they put a good name out, in the job. But like I said, outside, they were tearing my name apart from the outside. And I kept seeing people do weird things around me. And like I said, I couldn't quit then. I was already in the game. And it didn't even matter, like I said. By the time I got out, it was done. And I saw it all over Tacoma. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was looking like, you got to be kidding me. And, and like I said, well, back to the other part. I did have a friend that was in there, and she knew what was going on, and she admitted that she knew exactly. She felt sorry for me because she already knew what they were already doing before time. Unfortunately, she didn't come forward when all this happened, so I didn't get any help. But she knew exactly what was going on, and the reason why people don't help is because they have issues of their own, and they have their own work, and they're enough trying to do their bills and take care of themselves that they don't have time to stick up for people like me, or people, people that are in those situations, or they don't want to be the person that's in the situation. So what they do is they don't say jack, and they let you fight that fight, and they let you just go on, and they don't stick up for you, sadly. So that's how that works. So now you're in the fire, and they're just like, well, it's my bacon or your bacon, and they're like, no, I'm not going down for you. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to protect me. And I understand, but I'm sad because she's the one that could have helped me, in this situation, because she knew what was going on, and I wish she would have said something, because that would have made a difference. But like I said, it puts her job on the line, and it was me or her, so how this goes. Nobody wants to be a target, and if they can avoid being a target, they're gonna do it, because nobody wants to be a target. So, like I said, that's my story of what happened to me. Like I said, I just was shocked when I saw it. I mean, it threw me off. It's no matter where I pulled up at. Before I even pulled up, people knew I was there, and I couldn't understand how. And like I said, this smear campaign doesn't go fast. I want to tell people that too. It's time. That's the way this works. They tell more people, and it builds, and they keep building and building and building, and that's how this works. And I want to explain it to you. It's not fast. It's time. So I hope people understand that, because like I said, I want people to understand the smear campaign better than what I see in the video, so you can understand it. So they tell more people, and then it builds. And like I said, even at I went to a job in Puyallup, and I was in the warehouse, and I saw girls that recognized me from Tacoma, and I thought I'd get a fresh start. I left my other job. I thought it was good. And as soon as I got to the other job, these girls recognized me, and as soon as they recognized me, they didn't attack. People think like, oh, smear campaign, they come at you right away. No, smear campaign is something that's planned, and it takes time. What they do is they go back and tell the girls they saw me. They told their other girls, their friends they knew, and then guess what? And it's only 2 or 3 days. Then they tell the guys. They also tell the guys. then the guys find out who you are. So then now they're going to exploit you because they said this, and they're going to do it. And you're like, okay, well, maybe, first you're thinking like, okay, maybe I can get to them before you get to them, and maybe just, do what we do, and, hopefully everything will be okay. Now it doesn't work that way. What they're going to do is isolate themselves now because of what the girls just said and who people are doing it. So now you've lost some people. And no matter how nice you are, no matter how you want to be good and do your thing, and be cool and do what you got to do. Now you lost that. And you can't convince them anyway because you say something earlier, then you're exploiting yourself. So you don't want to say that. So the best thing is to actually, unfortunately, is to let it play out. That's the sad part. Because once it plays out, you already know the outcome already. You already know the outcome. You're going to be outnumbered. And then guess what? You're one versus God knows how many. Sometimes you might get lucky that there might be somebody in there. I met a couple of friends that were cool, thank God. And they came through for me, and I appreciate them. They actually came through, and they kept me alive longer than I would have been. That's for sure. And they wouldn't have did that because they would have just basically just ganged up on me. Like I said, when it comes to smear campaign, people just gang up on you. It's not the way you think it, like, oh, it's one-on-one or something. No, it's like a gang of them. And they just gang up on you, and then you have nowhere to go. And you can't talk to nobody because you don't know who to trust, because the first thing in your mind is, it's like, I can't trust them. And if they tell you something, guess what? You better just take it for what it is and keep moving, because they'll exploit you the first chance they get to. Because once they've told you, then they're gonna, like I said, then the process comes, like I just told you in my last video on bullying movements. Then it comes that same process, and it keeps going, and it doesn't end, because now they know. Now they're like, okay, well, now I'm gonna exploit him any way they can, and they can mess with you any way they want to. That means physically, no, they're not gonna mess with you. Because like I said, that's getting them guilty. Plus, like I said, I'll put them up. But it's not about that. It's about bringing you down mentally. Like I said, it's more of a psychological thing. And that's why I want people to understand. That's why when Dre was saying on psychological warfare, he said I would just attack them. When I first got that job, I would just did what I did. And I said, no, you couldn't have done that. Because if you'd have went to jail, then you would have made yourself look bad already. And then when you got out, you still would have looked bad. It wouldn't have made no difference. And you think you would have been doing the right thing. Until everywhere you go, you still would have been treated the same way. It wouldn't have changed your outcome. Your outcome would have been actually worse, because now you confirm what they've been saying about you. That's why it wouldn't help you to fight them. And you could say some words to them. Like I said, I did that already. That didn't work. So that wouldn't have helped you none. So those two scenarios where it wouldn't help you none, it's ridiculous. You would follow all you want, but you wouldn't want that kind of outcome. You don't want it, because like I said, you're giving them what they want. You fight, you look crazy, right? You threaten somebody, you look crazy, because now they've made your reputation look good. They make you look good from that. Like I said, from the inside, everything looks good. On the outside, they're basically tearing you down, and they really don't like you, but they're tearing you down from the outside. And that's what you got to understand. And that's why it's so hard to just dip out. And if you dip out, like I said, it follows you. It doesn't make no difference. Like I said, if they spread the word, it's going to follow you no matter where you go. So the scenario will be the same as it was when I was in the kitchen area where I was working. It didn't change, it's just the people change. And the job changed what I was doing. But you're still going to have the same results. And you can fight all day if you want to and tell them whatever you want to tell them. But like I said, when I told Dre about proving something, it's not about proving anything. It's just about having respect for yourself, your reputation, the way you see yourself. And you're not going to get that kind of respect. I don't care if you tell them all day long, curse them all out. You can go for it and say whatever you want to say. But I promise you, the results will be the same, because that's all they want. It's to get a reaction to watch you just go bonkers. They don't care. They don't care for the reason. They want you to look the way it was. Even at my job, when I was in Puyallup doing that job, they studied me for weeks. Studied me. They I feel like I was like a lab rat, and they just studied me, watch me, analyze me, try to see what my movement, what I do, what's my mouth, what I do with my mouth, what am I doing, and they watch you and study you, so then they can tell what kind of reactions you have. And depending on your reaction is how they're going to attack you. For me, like I said, they'd rather just do the silent treatment and just watch. No matter where I was, it was somebody down there looking, and they'd watch you. Instead of doing their job and focus on what they're supposed to be doing, they're so busy focused on trying to catch me in some kind of act. Because it's fun. It has nothing to do with anything they did for weeks. like I said, but I wrote down the days. It was the 16th of November, the 22nd, the 26th, and I think it was the 28th of maybe the 26th or 28th of December. So I document, like I said, you document everything. When you're going through a smear campaign and they're doing this to you, document everything. I don't care their names. You document what they do. You document it. I put down their names and I put the dates of it so you know when they're doing this. So somebody goes, well, it's your word versus like kids, he said, she said. Guess what? You got to document it. And I say document it definitely. So you cover yourself. Because in a smear campaign, if you don't do it that way, you're out of luck. I say document every single thing. I tell people that, and I really mean that with heart. When that stuff goes down, document it. I don't care, write it down on a piece of paper. I don't care if you find a napkin like 8 Mile, you M&M. You write that junk down. And I tell anybody that. Any place I go new, I always bring a piece of paper with me. So if I have to write down names, if I know their names, I'm going to write them down, and I'm going to write the time, and I'm going to write the date. Because my word versus their word. And, if I don't have no proof of nothing, then I'm going to look foolish. And nobody's not going to care. But if I put the time and the date, they can't argue with that. They'll be like, oh, he's got the time and date, and he knows what you said that same day and the time and everything. And they'll be like, whoa. Then you got a case. See what I'm saying? You document everything. When you go through a smear campaign, you document everything when it comes to a job. Unfortunately, I wish you can document the public, because when you see the stuff happening, you can document them. But you can't do nothing about that one. You just gotta, unfortunately, gotta take that junk. Unfortunately, there's no way around that. But in a smear campaign, every time you go to a job, document. I tell anybody that, document everything. When they say document, I mean they document. Because if you don't, like I said, it's your word versus their word. And if they say, I didn't do that, then you just look kind of foolish. And then you look like a clown. And you have no case. And they're going to look at you like, yeah, he's out of his mind, da-da-da-da. But if you document, then they'll be like, well, he's got papers saying what day, and I never had the dates and everything on what they did too, on every time. And all they did was watch me. Don't get me wrong, they observed the heck out of me, but they invaded my space instead of focusing on work. Instead, they'd rather just watch me and not do their job. That's the part that makes me mad. They just did their job. I would be like, okay, whatever. You thought what you thought about me, you do your job, whatever. But that's not what they did. And that's why this stuff happens. And like I said, it gets unnoticed. Like I said, that's why it's undercover. And that's why I was saying in my bully movements that this happens. And I want to explain to people certain other things that go on with this, with the smear campaign. And this is stuff that makes it so hard to get jobs and make you to keep your jobs, because if your name's so tarnished like that, it makes it hard, because this is stuff you got to deal with now. Instead of doing your normal routine, doing whatever you were doing, going your normal day, now you got to worry about who's going to watch you while you're doing your job, who's going to, and you can't really talk to these people. You got to keep everything short, because you can't trust them. Because like I said, they'll try to exploit you the first chance they get. They don't care about finding out what happened, how it happened. And like I said, they don't care. And I should have documented when I was at the other job, but I didn't document, so I had nothing to run on. And I should have documented and wrote everything down. If I would have wrote it down, I would have had a better case. And I didn't, at that time, like I said, it was new to me. I'm not used to this bullying thing and how this works and how people treat you. I was not used to all that. And I wish I would have known, because I would have documented every darn thing that happened. That would have been the smartest move I ever did in my life. But I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know. I was new, I didn't know it was going to go that far. I figured, fine. I've said a couple people, by like I said, while I'm doing exactly what they wanted me to do, instead of taking time and putting thought into it. But it was new to me. Like I said, now I understand the game. So if I walk in there, I'm definitely going to read a piece of paper, and I'm going to try to get their name. And I get their name definitely, because I don't know, my case versus their case. And like I said, business, they don't want, this messes up business too, because you're supposed to be working. So that's my story. And like I said, on my story, I did go to HR. It didn't help me none. Like I said, if your reputation, they say good things, but they say, fake the funk, and then when they leave, they tell you something bad about you, to other people outside the job, you have no case. You look foolish now, because now they've just flipped it, and they use you, and now you look too, because now you're, like I said, I was wilding out, because I was mad about the way they're treating me. So I've already given them what they want. I gave them ammunition. All they wanted me to do was keep going because they knew I was a hothead. Basically, in short, I was a hothead. And I was trying to do, like I said, stand up for myself. I wasn't trying to cause no conflict with nobody. I was trying to survive. And the way they were treating me, I didn't like it because I'm a good person. And because I wasn't getting certain things right, or because I wasn't moving fast enough for them, whatever the case was at the job, they weren't going to like me anyway. So I should have just quit in the beginning. Like I said, I didn't know. You only know until you get caught and you're isolated. That's all how this works. You never know. And that's the sad part. Unless you know off the bat, but when you see those signs where you're getting isolated and you see nobody's talking to you and you see every day they're doing it to you, I say get the heck out of that job. Whatever job you're at, get out of it. If you ever see bullying in a work job like that, get out. Because it's not going to get better. And hopefully, like I said, they don't remember you and you can move on and they forget you in time. But if you stay there and you play the game, you better start documenting everything you can. But I think the best bet is to leave, because playing this game with them, there's no way you're going to end up on top. I doubt it, unless you can, like I said, unless you got facts. And like I said, that's why I say document everything to the T. Because like I said, it's your word versus their word, and they will flip it to make it look make you look so bad. And I'm warning you because I feel like this is what I should have been told. If I'd have been told that, I would have documented everything. But I didn't know. Like I said, and I thought a person that knew about what was going on, I thought she was going to help me. But I see she didn't help me. She let me just take that ride by myself. And she didn't say anything. And me and her had a conversation that night, and she admitted to me I was right. So I know I was right. They were doing what they were doing. But like I said, there's no proof. I should have recorded it when she said it, because then I would have had there's HR, that's where I could have had my way. And they would have been like, well, it's on video, it's on your phone that she said this, and I could have recorded it. But it did not hit me at the time, and I should have recorded it. If I would have recorded it, I would have had my case, my facts would have been there. But unfortunately, I was just trying to, get off some frustration. So I was trying to talk to somebody to get, maybe I can understand with somebody at the job I was at, my first job where this experience happened, where I was going through the smear campaign, but I was trying to talk to somebody that was in my job when the group was coming at me and doing this stuff inside the kitchen. Well, outside the kitchen, excuse me, people that served other people, and I didn't know. I was new to the game, so. But personally, I wish I would have documented everything. So I tell anybody going through a smear campaign and you're going through your job and you get isolated from a group, and everybody's treating you the same way, you know what I mean? And there's a couple people that are probably on your side. Start documenting, because if you don't document, you have nothing. And if you don't have anything, it's your word versus their word. And if they're telling good things about you, but they're exploiting you on the backside, document everything. Write it down. I don't care. Write it down. I know it sounds silly and stupid because you're like, well, I'm going to write stuff down. Write it down. I don't care. Write it down. Because it's your word versus their word. And if they flip it on you, you're going to one that looks bad. And you're the one going to look foolish. And they're going to be laughing because they're like, he has nothing anyway. So, but if you write it down or you record it, I don't care if you get one of those little record boxes and you record it, then you have something. You don't record it, you have nothing. And then it's like kids. And then the parents are going to decide what's up. And they're going to go by, a group of people say everything's good. They're not going to take your side for it. They're going to pretend like they don't know, like you're out of your mind. And deep down, you knew exactly what they were doing. You were right about it. But like I said, when it comes to this right here, this is how that works. And never, ever try to talk to narcissistic people and try to explain to them your story after you've been smeared. I tell you this, don't try to talk. I don't care what job you get next. Whatever you do, don't try to reason with them. You can't reason with them. Once they know who you are and that's the way they're going to act, don't try to talk to them and try to make them your friend. Don't do it. It's a mistake. Because then now they think you're guilty, and now you're trying to kiss up. And now they're like, great, he's trying to kiss up. Look at him, he's guilty. I know he's guilty. And that's what they'll do. And then they're going to try to exploit you as fast as they can. They'll talk nice to you right in front of your face. They're going to kiss up to you for a few minutes. But beware. Their mission is to exploit you. And it's not to be your friend. It's just to exploit you. And that's the way that works. So I would say to anybody that's going through that, don't do it. Don't talk to them. Don't try to reason with them. And I understand how tempting it is, because when you have a group of people against you, you want them to understand so they can see your side, to see your view at least from what they heard, and at least hear your view out. But they're not going to want to hear it. I tried. They don't want to hear it. All they want to hear is you're guilty. And if they can't find you, and if they don't think you are guilty, it doesn't matter. They're going to try to make you guilty because they don't want to be wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong if everybody's saying the same thing. Nobody wants to be wrong. It bugs them to be wrong. If they're wrong, it makes them look bad, and it makes them look ASSS. I'm not going to say the word, but y'all know what I mean. Like I said, I spelled it out for you. So this is why they don't. This is why they don't want that to happen. And they will do anything to make it stick. You know, I've had times when me and Shantae were out where the dude, like I said, I've seen a guy go into we went by the bank to get our card. I mean, we'll get her card out, see where her money was at. And I had a guy go up to the machine, didn't get nothing, now like he was doing something, to walk back out. Quinn gets out of her car, Shantae gets out of her car, and next man knows a guy filming in the back of his truck. You know what I mean? And this is the kind of stuff I see. You know, and I've had other times I've had where I've went someplace, and this man know I went to the waterfront with Craig before, and we got followed. I told Craig I was going to take a left. It was in a dead end. And I saw this car behind me. I see him looking up. Like I say, he's doing the sign. He's doing the left thing like this. And I watched him. And I knew exactly what he was going to do before he did it. And I turned left to a dead end. And guess what? He followed me right to the dead end. So then I had to back up. And I'm looking at him like, what is he doing? And he looked like, oh, like he didn't know what was going on. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was following me and Craig to see where we went. And I had another car follow us that night. And me and Craig watched the guy follow me. So Craig, Shantae, and Miss Cowan, they've all seen it. So I'm not making up anything, any stories or nothing like that. This is something people have seen, witnessed. And like I said, when it comes to a smear campaign, they will do anything to make this thing stick. Anything they can. It doesn't matter. Because they don't want to be wrong about you. Because like I said, the goal is to make you look bad as possible. And like I said, in a smear campaign, once it goes public, anybody will try to do anything to make that thing, you know, they're going to have fun. All the people that did it, the source did it, you know, that did it, the group people that did it to me, you know, maybe they sent this person out here, I don't know, you know, they could have did that way. But whatever the case is, they will try to get people to exploit you the first chance they get. They will use kids too. I forgot to mention that before. They will use kids. They do. I see kids doing the same thing, the same routine. They use kids, adults. It doesn't make no difference. They'll get out to whoever they can that's going to listen to them. And they don't want to hear, they want people to hate you. And that's the goal. They want them to hate you. They don't care about the truth. They just want people to hate you as much as they can to bring you down. They want to bring you down so low that you actually end up doing some of the stuff that they say they said about you, whatever it is, whatever's bad. And that's why they do it. Because the more people that hate you, the more they win. Because if they got an army on them, guess what? You're alone, you're isolated, and that's what they want. That's the whole goal. Even in the jobs, the whole goal is to get you isolated, away from everybody. So if they get you away from everybody, then they can watch you and have more people watch you. Because like I said, they're not going to attack you head on. That's not the way they do it. They get a group of people. And that's how this smear campaign works. It's always a group of people. They're never one-on-one. Never. It's a group. And that's how they do it. And unfortunately for me, like I said, I fell into the trap of the job. I just didn't know. I wish I would have known that was coming. I would have handled it better. I probably wouldn't have reacted the way I did if I would have known that was the goal. But like I said, you know, they use your own fuel against you. So if you ever get caught in that stuff, hopefully, like I said, you see any signs of what I just told you, dip out of there. Don't even waste your time with that job. It's not worth what you're gonna go through in the long run. Because they're going to tear your name down, and it's just not worth it. And I wish I would have quit. I said I regret not quitting in the beginning. I should have quit. But in my mind, like I said, I was standing up for myself. And, you know, I always told, you know, you see a bully, stand up to him. But as I told Dre, I was trying to get Dre to understand is, unless you got a group of people fighting with you, to fight fire with fire, you can't fight them by yourself. I don't care what nobody says. You can try all you want. But to me, it's a dumb cause. Unless you have people with you that's willing to fight with you on that journey and fight those group people that come at you like that, you're not going to win. You need a group. And like I said, if somebody's higher in the stakes with you, and they're more popular, well known, and you don't have a lot of people to back you up, guess what? You're going down. And the reason why you're going to go down is because they have more people, and they know, they have more of a clique, and you don't. And if their clique's greater than yours, and if they can get people to join, they're going to tear you down. And it's not going to make no difference. There's a good chance you might lose. And that's why I said you wouldn't win that battle. I was trying to explain to Dre. I said it's not about feelings. I don't care about feelings and crap like that. I don't care about that. It's the principle of my pride. It's about respect. Your dignity. What you take, which people take for granted now. That I realize people take it really for granted, and unfortunately, they do take it for granted, unfortunately, and they don't understand the difference when you don't have that. Because when you have a bad reputation, your dignity is done. Your respect is gone. It's been stripped away. And it's totally a different thing. You may have respect for yourself, which you should always definitely have. But the people that are doing this to you, they have no respect for you, no dignity for you. You're done. Your reputation's done. It's all done. You can't regain that back. And once it's out there like that, you can forget trying to get it back. Unfortunately, all you can do is move on. Because people say enough stuff, people are going to believe it these days. Unfortunately, instead of thinking for themselves and are giving it thought, they may be like, let me find out what's going on and really go and dig deep. They're so quick to just take it in. It's just like the news. Sometimes people say stuff and people just take it and run with it. They just do whatever they want to do and make it to whatever they want to make it. Even people with religion, I say the same thing. I have a different belief than some people. I'll use that for example. I believe certain things I don't believe. It's just me, just who I am. And people run with it. Like some people think, for example, I'm getting off subject, but I'm going to explain why I go to church on this. Because people think, they can go to the club and a bar and have a good time on Saturday and get drunk. Then on Sunday they get right with the Lord. They think they're going to heaven. It's the same scenario. That's the way they look at it. It's the way people are. It's their mindset, and they think they're saved. And I'm like, but you're still doing the same dirt. You didn't learn anything. The goal is to learn something from it. To better yourself. But if you're not doing that, you're just doing what you want to do. That's you coming up with whatever you want. That's not doing what's right. So.